and things are looking even better right now when I bring in the handsome, suave, and debonair Fernando Uribe, one of the finest talk show hosts host of Real Talk via Eyes on NJ. And Fernando, thanks for joining us as usual on Monday. Trump, he said he was going to break down the stimulus talks. Then somebody said, hey, you can't do that. Everybody's going to be pissed off right before the election. So then he went back in and said, all right, they're back on. And now I guess, he's raising the offer to $1.8 trillion. Is this political, or does he really realize that people need help still?
Well, I think it's the latter, John. And thanks for having me back on. Certainly, we know that with about 21 days to go to an election almost, many Americans are still hurting. But the numbers are very much in different time zones here between the president, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, obviously Senate Republicans, and House Democrats, who earlier this month passed a $2.2 trillion bill. But you know what, John? The devil's in the details. When you look at what Nancy Pelosi and the House Dems tried to stick in here, had nothing to do with the pandemic, had nothing to do with economic relief per se. It was about voter suppression, somehow voter regulations, vote by mail guidelines. I mean, this has nothing to do with the pandemic, John. And it's just that the House Democrats typically trying to sneak in pork into a bill when, quite frankly, this shouldn't be political.
No,
it shouldn't be ideological. It should be just economical, looking to help the American people, John. It's really disgraceful what's going on.
Hey, listen, I love me some pork chops, so I don't like seeing pork get abused like this. I'm with you, but it's just the way the Dems do things, right? They can't see a bill go by where they erode away the edges of our democracy. I almost cursed right there because it gets me so angry. But I think Trump is doing the right thing. And again, he can just come in with an executive order and say, all right, I'm doing this for the next 90 days. And then once I get, sworn in again, then I'll make everybody even better. But Nancy Pelosi, to me, she's just an evil person. Like, she doesn't have her constituency or America in her best interests.
John, listen, this is a family-friendly program. There are a lot better adjectives to use for Nancy Pelosi. She's a despicable woman. I don't mind saying that often. I don't know. It's a reflection of how bad her constituency is in San Francisco. They keep reelecting this woman, along with other House Dems who have been in government for almost 40 years, John. But somehow, what's going wrong with the country, even before COVID, is all the president's fault. But mind you, whether it's her, Maxine Waters, Dick Durbin, what an appropriate name for Richard, Chuck Schumer here in New York. These people have been in government for over 50 years, and somehow they haven't been able to get anything done in that time. But somehow now, in the last 4 years, everything that's wrong with America is on the president's, platter, and that's just unfair. And the liberal media is a willing accomplice, John, to do this.
So, what many people don't realize here, and we're kind of political wonks, so we go deeper than most people, and people just hear the sound bites at the cocktail parties, right? The weirdest thing, they're starting this commission to invoke the 25th Amendment, right? And that's not for Trump. That's for if Joe Biden wins, then they're going to say, oh, you know what? He does have dementia now. They're going to pop him out. That makes Kamala Harris the president. That makes Nancy Pelosi the vice president for some period of time, right? If you want to know what America will be, everybody watching out there, okay, if you don't vote for Donald Trump and make sure he wins overwhelmingly, look no further than the city of San Francisco.
That's right.
Because the city of San Francisco is the armpit of America. There are homeless people allowed to defecate in the streets. There are needle parks, okay? It's just a vile place, right? And we will have the president, Kamala Harris, from San Francisco. We will have the vice president, Nancy Pelosi, from San Francisco. And one of the leading Democrats, Dianne Feinstein. So our country will be run basically out of California, and California is the place where they have the most radically different views than I think the whole country.
That's right, John. And listen, could you think of two more vile, despicable women to ascend to the presidency than maybe Kamala Harris and even Nancy Pelosi as vice? I mean, these are two women that are the ideal poster children for liberal politics and how toxic they are, how harmful they are economically. And look at California. And it's amazing to me when you hear Andrew Cuomo and my governor here, Phil Murphy, New Jersey, say, hey, we want to be the California of the East. And listen, no, thank you. We've seen what liberal governing does. We've seen what liberal politics does to an economy. John, it's a disaster. And I'll tell you something right now. I'm with you. If the thought of a Kamala Harris president doesn't scare you, it should, because she is just a reprehensible human being. Besides her voting record, this woman will do anything for power. We all know what she does, what she has done. I just can't respect her. And I don't think anybody with any sound mind can do that either.
Yeah, and by the way, we're at a time right now where Joe Biden's out there flip-flopping on all his positions. In the debate, he said, I'm not for the Green New Deal, right? All through the Democratic primaries, he said he was going to end fracking, ban fracking, stop fracking. Now he's saying, whoa. He's over there in Pennsylvania saying, nah, I'm not going to stop fracking. In the scenario we are talking about, Kamala Harris has not wavered. She's the primary co-sponsor of the Green New Deal with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Okay? If they remove Joe Biden, Kamala Harris is telling you right now what she's going to do. Green New Deal, bail reform, stop fracking. That's a simple thing. I mean, people got to hear that. That's what she's going to do to us.
Absolutely. And it's amazing to me that people don't see through this lunacy. John, listen, when it comes to fracking and the importance of petroleum, it's not just about putting gas in your car. It's about all the goods and services that are made from petroleum, okay? It's the fact that, a lot of these liberals love Amazon and getting all their goods and services transported to them. Well, guess what? How are we going to power these trucks and, engage in interstate commerce? What, these trucks are going to be powered by wind and solar? It's absurd. These green policies are expensive. They've been proven not to work. And all it does is just embolden these equal clowns that are just all about climate hysteria. And I'm sorry, John, I can't buy into that.
No, I'm with you. I like that term. I never thought of that one. Eco clowns. Yeah, I mean, I live right on the water here in Staten Island. If I got to look out my window and see a windmill, I'm gonna go crazy. I'll be out there with a sawzall at 2 a.m. cutting it down.
God bless you.
Hey, Fernando, our last couple of minutes here, Halloween is approaching. And apparently the coronavirus is threatening theme parks' lucrative Halloween business. This is just another part of society that's getting crushed.
Absolutely. And we're an appropriate topic on a Monday where, listen, first of all, Halloween's my favorite holiday. And to see it, being really reduced to nothing. And listen, this is where theme parks all across the country, John, make so much of their revenue because of Halloween-themed events. And we know that in California and Universal Studios, their famous Halloween park has been closed down. It was announced in July. Here in New Jersey, I think Six Flags is not going to be having any sort of themed events. Listen, the coronavirus has really hit hard in an industry where it benefits so many kids and adults alike that enjoy Halloween and find it to be one of the more enjoyable parts of the year. It's really tragic, and I'm hoping that we can recover in 2021 once the president gets another 4 years and we can see a little more economic recovery throughout the country.
I'm seriously thinking about this for Halloween. I'm thinking about getting like a truckload of candy at my house here and having a Halloween protest for all the kids in the neighborhood, okay? I'm going to encourage people to wear their masks of any type, Frankenstein, Avengers, whatever they want. Of course, I'm going to ask them to social distance, but I can't imagine that a mayor or a governor would break up a bunch of kids protesting or at least rallying to support Halloween. What do you think?
You know what? I would think any rational, logical person would not do that, John. But again, we're talking about Bill de Blasio, who's the logical and rational person around. And we're also talking about Governor Cuomo, who's also the least logical and rational person that I know. And that's saying a lot because a lot of liberals lack logic and rationale anyway.
Yep. I'll take a king-size Baby Ruth and shove it in his anus if he wants to come over here and break up my Halloween protest. All right. Fernando, thank you so much, my brother. You're always there for us on Mondays and other days when I need him to fill in. That's our guy, Fernando Uribe. Check him out on Real Talk on Eyes on NJ. Thank you, Fernando.
Thanks, John. Take care.